Okay, we're going to start in the summary section for this particular report. This is another review of how this particular report, this client actually, can go from the scores that you see here with the TransUnion 476, 555 Experian, 549 Equifax, to have a very high 700s in just 30 days. I'm going to tell you how this can happen, and then you are going to ask me how I can do the same breakdown for you. All right, let's go. Summary section. There's only one delinquent, and actually the one delinquent is in TransUnion, not Experian nor Equifax, and the derogatory is one only in TransUnion and Experian. There is one public record, but the inquiries, as you can see, are off the chain. 50 for TransUnion, 43 for Experian, Equifax 25. Typically, when I see a lot of inquiries like this, it always leads me to believe that somebody went to a dealership to apply for a car. We're going to see if I'm right. Let's go. Okay, the very first thing is real estate account. So the perfect pie chart says that real estate needs to be involved to have that perfect 800 score. So there is a real estate account that was opened in 2022 of September, and this has okay for the history. No late payments, everything is paid on time. So that's going to allow consistency in the installment area to develop. All right, now we're looking at revolving accounts. We see a Torrid account. The balance is 0 and the credit limit is 300. Now, 300 is one of those starter limits. And so typically you can have 2,500 or more for a charge account. The TransUnion needs to be a minimum 620 for you to start asking for the increases. All right, so we're gonna go, there's a late payment there, so that might have something to do with the scores being a little bit low. All right, we're gonna go to the Fingerhut account. Now, Fingerhut this one's closed, so we're gonna bypass this one. All right, Fortiva. Now, the Fortiva, the balance is $1,000. So my thing is when I see the balance owed, I always want to know what the credit limit is because it allows me to see if it's maxed out and what percentage it's being used. So the credit limit for this one is 1,500. So 1,500 and the balance is 1,000. So this probably lets me know about 92, 93% is being used. So anything over 5% is going to be killing the score. So for this particular client, I already know that there has to be a debt snowball plan that has to be created. And it's going to go from lowest to largest, from smallest to greatest. And we're going to see where this 1,000 balance goes into that debt snowball to drive this score up in 30 days. All right, so the next account we're going to look at is FB Destiny. So there's a balance of 804 for this account, and it's late. Now, it's only on TransUnion, but the credit limit is 700. So balance 800, credit limit 700. So this is more than 100% usage. And being that it's only on TransUnion, this is the one single reason why the TransUnion is in the 4s and the others are not. Because this over the limit late payment does not show on Experian nor Equifax. Now you can only really see this with Smart Credit monitoring. The link is in my bio if you want to get started with a Smart Credit account that allows you to see what accounts are on which bureaus. All right, so this of course also is going to go in the debt snowball from largest to greatest. The next one is FB Destiny. Now this balance is 106. Now this may be one of the lowest balances, and the credit limit is 700. So this is more of, now, okay, let me say this. The credit limit being 700, you have to use, in order for your score to not falter any, 5%, sometimes no more than 10%. Now, 10% of 700 is $70. So that means you do not want to go over $70. So even though this 106 balance is not that high, it's still going over 10%. And so it may allow the score to drop a little bit, even if the scores were in the 700s. So always keep that in mind. Credit cards are not necessarily used for, or not necessarily gotten to be used. You want to allow the score to stay high so you can get the real things you want, like houses and cars, and maybe a high limit credit card like 25,000 or something, but you don't want to start using them to kind of mess your score. Okay, the next account, we're going to look at the Target card. Now, this balance seems low, 204, but the credit limit is really going to tell the story. And the credit limit is 400. So that lets me know it's 50% usage. 50% usage is always going to keep the scores low. So this also will go in the plan that I create for this client, where it's going to be maybe the 106 first, maybe the 204 first, but they will all go in order from lowest to highest to start paying off the lowest first. And that will skyrocket the scores. All right, Credit One Bank. Now this one is 137. This balance does seem low. However, the credit limit will tell the story. And the credit limit is 600. So 10% of 600 is 65% is $30. So typically I will always kind of teach to use no more than 5%. So that means $30. And if $30 is going to be the limit, 137 is too high, because that's going to start allowing that score to not be as high as you want it to be. All right, TBOM milestone. All right, $12. Now, anytime I see something that's $12 or $15, sometimes $32, those really low amounts like that, that lets me know that there's interest that's reported. Not necessarily that a payment was made. I mean, not necessarily that a purchase was made, not necessarily that a pay down, that you didn't pay everything. Typically, when you pay an account off, the interest that was accrued for that month will show up the very next month. This particular account is $12. Every time I have had a complete payoff of my own credit cards, and I've had that interest balance on there, I've always allowed them to, well, no. I've always called them and they've always waived it. So you can too. If you have the patience to call them, and it's really not a long phone call, I just call, hey, I paid my balance off and I see that there's an entry. Is there any way interest? Is there any way that you guys can waive that? They have never told me no. They've always done that. So maybe that could be something that you could, that's a little hack, a little credit hack, interest hack, if you will. And they'll waive that. And so we're going to go to our Merrick Bank is next. So this balance is $465. So this will be put in the debt snowball plan that I give to this client to pay this off and to raise his scores in 30 days. This credit limit is $1,400. Now, the very first 30 days, there is going to be a debt snowball plan that will be created, right? So it's going to drive the scores very easily to the 700s. Paid on time. The second month, the 700 score that's generated can easily go even higher when you go back to these same credit card companies and ask for a credit increase. Always remember that credit increases will increase the scores as well. So that could be something that could be for the next 30 days to get even higher. All right, TBOM. That's a 32 balance. So that 32, that's letting me know that's interest. So you can easily call this company, ask them to waive this interest payment, and they'll easily do that for you. All right, that credit limit is 1,000. So credit increase is what we'll go back to once we get the scores in the 700s after the first 30 days. All right, we're going to keep going. Ava Finance. This is a credit card with a credit limit. Very good balance. That can go even higher as well. First Premier, $296. This credit limit is 600, so 50% of usage. This keeps the scores low. This also will go in the debt snowball, smallest to largest. So far it's been about maybe 6 or 7 credit cards. Sometimes it is an investment when you're wanting to obtain 700 scores in 30 days. The revolving account is really where you can push that to happen in real time. Okay, there's a charge account with Ashley Stewart, 400. Very easily, this can get increased after the scores get in the 700s. Then there's Credit One Bank. This one also has a 100 limit. That one can be easily increased to 1,500 or 2,000 after the 30 days. All right, then there's the Green Dot. That's more of a prepaid card sometimes, or a secured card that works with your bank or Walmart. All right, that's the Self account. Now, Self, I do endorse Self as a credit builder. If you want to obtain a Self account where you pay subscriptions. Now, this one, it doesn't show the subscription here, but the subscriptions are as low as $15 with Self. There is a link in my bio, Credit Building Account, where you can obtain a Self account. Now, if you see the high balance is $530, so that lets me know that a $500 subscription was bought for Self. Now, the $30 is the interest that Self will charge. And once you pay the 15 or whatever the monthly subscription is, once you pay that off, it shows in the balance owed section. All right, so typically that will show up every single month and it'll go down every single month. So balance owed $375 in this particular account. All right, and so we're going to keep going. All right, Kohl's. Kohl's has a balance of 209, although this is kind of low. The credit limit of 400 is telling me the story. 50% of usage, so it's more of abuse. And so you always want to make sure the credit cards are giving you the maximum benefit. And yeah, always want to have the maximum benefit. Capital One, 667 for this one. Now let's see what that credit limit is, and it is 1,000. So that's about maybe 60% of usage, almost 70% of usage. So this too will go in the debt snowball for this to be paid off immediately. So there will be in 30 days an immediate increase to over 700 scores. And then this is a business line of credit. So anytime, I'm kind of stop right here just a minute. Anytime you want a business line of credit, Capital One business cards will also go on the personal and the business. This is typically not what you want to happen. I never recommend that when my clients want business funding to go to a Capital One because of this very thing right here. Because business accounts always have the grace period to max out the credit limits, because you're buying supplies, you're buying inventory. And when you max that out to buy that inventory, it's never counted against you when it's a business profile, but it will count against you in a personal profile. And Capital One business card is the only one that I know thus far that will also appear on the personal. So you want to go to like maybe the American Express business or your local bank or credit union business funding accounts, business credit cards. So it will not appear on your personal. All right, Capital One again, $85. So that may be the very first one that enters the debt snowball. Okay, that $85 off, and maybe that 106. All right, the Bank of Missouri, $6. That's letting me know that's interest. So call the company, ask them to waive that interest payment, and they typically will do that for you. All right, the next one. Okay, so this is a zero balance. So we're gonna fly by this one. CB Indigo, we'll fly by this one. As you can see, there are a lot of credit cards for this account. And I hear a lot of time where people say, well, you can't get too many credit cards, right? I mean, too many credit cards is too much. No, you can get as many credit cards as you like. You just got to make sure that you're not going over 5%, and you're typically not using them to the point where they're damaging your score. You have anywhere from 18 months to 36 months before it will close due to inactivity. So you can easily go a full 12 months and not use the cards and only use them when you need them. All right, so we're gonna keep going. All right, that's $96. So that will be entered in that snowball, maybe the second account. All right, so we're in the installment loans. Now, installment loans, these are your fixed accounts that always have interest. You can never avoid interest when you get an installment loan. That's your personal loans, your real estate accounts, that's your furniture bills, that's a car loan. Anything in the installment account section has a fixed amount of terms, 60 months, 12 months, 36 months, and it will always have interest. Okay. All right, so we're going to keep going, and that 252. So when that 252 gets paid in full, this installment account will close. Once it's closed, it will automatically drop the scores. Sometimes as high as 15, maybe 21 points. And you cannot avoid that. Once an installment account is paid in full, there's nothing else to report. So therefore it automatically closes. And when it automatically closes, it's no longer reporting to the bureaus. So therefore the scores will drop a little. Okay, now keep going. All right, there's this open account there. Look like that's an Experian Boost account here. And if you want to know more about Experian Boost, you can Google that or just go on Experian.com and look up Boost and find out how that works. And you can get as high as 20 points. I've had a client to get 90 points just for bills that they pay on time. I'm curious about these inquiries. All right, there's an Affirm account there, zero balance. Good, good, good. Okay, this is an auto loan. All right, so now this auto loan was purchased 2 years ago. All right, in 2021, because it's now 2023. It was purchased 2 years ago. So that lets me know that this could possibly be the reason why the inquiries are so high. All right, that's another Experian Boost account. Where when it says self-reported, that lets you know that's a Boost account. All right, we're almost done at the bottom with the inquiries. All right, so this is a student loan. Student loans are typically going to be your oldest accounts, and you can consolidate them and always have like an okay there, never defaulting on them. And this one was transferred, so as long as they're not defaulted, they will help the score because of their history, how long they are on the report. All right, we're gonna keep going. And we're almost at the end because I don't see any other accounts that are negative. In fact, there aren't any accounts that's negative. Uh-oh, spoke too soon. All right, so this is Comcast, a collection account. And this one can be settled typically at maybe 50% of what's owed because it was January of this year. This is currently August. So anything after, I want to say 6 months, they'll be open, or maybe 4 months. Anything after 4 months, they'll be open to settling. sometimes earlier than that. And you could easily settle this account for, what's that, 500, maybe 550. And that can also allow the score to boost within that 30-day time frame. So those scores can get in the 700s. Now, this is a bankruptcy. Now, this was 2015. After 12 months, a bankruptcy has already hurt your score. It's no longer hurting your score past 12 months. It's already taken those points away. It does not continue to hurt past 12 months. You can still get whatever you want, although a bankruptcy is present. Now the inquiries. All right, so we know that there are a lot of inquiries, but what I'm interested in is when these will automatically fall off. They will, in 24 months, automatically fall off. However, in 12 months, you get your points back. They're no longer hurting the points. They're no longer affecting your score. And so I'm going to count the ones that are 2021 that will be falling off this year. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 29 of these inquiries will be falling off within the next few months. And it also lets me know that it was attached to someone going to a dealership. And if you watch any of my other videos that give a review of credit reports, you know that I tell you when you go to a dealership to apply for a car, that's when they will shop your scores with whomever will pick it up. The best place to apply for a new vehicle is with your local bank or credit union because there's only one pool. And the one pool will be either one of the bureaus. It doesn't hit all three. It may hit the TransUnion and Experian, or it may just hit the TransUnion, but I've never seen them hit all three. So the worst place to shop for a new financed vehicle is to go to the dealership. You can get the pre-approval amount, apply with your local bank or credit union, take that pre-approved check to the dealership of choice and tell them this is what my bank has pre-approved. That's it. Thanks for watching.